tonight.
Central Saskatchewan pounded by heavy rain with more on the way. An officer in the Canadian military just off the Saskatchewan fire lines charged with sexual assault. And in sports, who will get the start at QB this week for the Riders?
Live in Saskatoon, this is CTV News.
Good evening. What a day. It was all about the rain in Saskatoon with a rainfall warning in place for most of the day. For many of you, it was a welcome relief. We haven't had a good soaking like this since last year, but for some, it was a bit much. Eric Westaver on the rain, the wind, and the result. So this weather system is producing some nasty conditions, and lightning may have been responsible for an early morning fire in Wadena that heavily damaged a group home. Fire started about 1:30 this morning. The Wadena Volunteer Fire Department was on the scene pretty quick. The 6 people who were inside the building all managed to escape without injury. The group home served people with intellectual disabilities and operated as a not-for-profit. The home is being described by RCMP as unlivable. Most of the occupants' possessions were destroyed in the fire. A bombshell in the Canadian military. A high-ranking officer, a commander, has been suspended after being charged with sexual assault. Lieutenant Colonel Mason Stalker, who is 40 and based in Edmonton, appeared in a civilian court earlier today. Stalker is accused of abusing his position as a mentor to cadets. He faces a total of 10 counts, including sexual exploitation, sexual interference, and breach of trust by a public officer. The alleged victim, a male, was underage at the time. Stalker was the commanding officer of the 1st Battalion of the Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry. He led the military into northern Saskatchewan earlier this month to help in the battle against wildfires and was interviewed by CTV News. Well, the fire situation in the north has certainly died down a lot. Crews, though, are still working to battle some remaining wildfires. The Ministry of Environment says there are still about 72 wildfires burning in the province. Over the last 24 hours, 2 fires have been declared out and 1 new fire started. 12 of those fires are not contained. To date, there have been 664 fires in Saskatchewan compared to 242 by this time last year. A 35-year-old inmate who escaped from the Saskatchewan Penitentiary is back in custody. Lawrence Seawap was discovered missing on Sunday from the minimum security unit of the prison. He was taken into custody by Prince Albert City Police this afternoon. The search for a missing Saskatoon woman is ramping up. It's been more than 2 months since Candice Singbeil was last seen riding her bike in downtown Saskatoon. Now efforts to find the 32-year-old mother of 2 are being expanded. Angelina Irenisi spoke to her family, who are desperate to find her. For more information on the search for Candice Singbeil and the tip line phone number, go to our website, saskatoon.ctvnews.ca, and click on News Links. Police have arrested a 21-year-old Regina man after a 3-day spree that saw vehicles stolen, police stops evaded, and a vehicle set on fire. Police say a vehicle was stolen from Regina and found burned last week near an alley in the 2500 block of Eastview in Saskatoon. Between Thursday and Sunday, officers tried to stop 3 different vehicles that had been stolen and all driven by the suspect. Each time, though, they sped off. Police called off their pursuits due to safety concerns. The suspect was arrested by Wilkie RCMP. He faces more than a dozen charges, including evading police, theft of a vehicle, and arson. Sask Energy has started the next phase of its investigation into last year's natural gas fire in Prudhomme. It was a spectacular sight as flames shot 30 meters into the air at a natural gas holding facility. It could be seen for kilometers. Sask Energy is now preparing for an internal investigation into the cavern well. An initial report found an obstruction 3.5 meters below the surface in the steel well casing. Sask Energy says it will remove the remaining gas from the cavern for a closer look. This phase of the investigation is expected to take up to 8 months. The cavern will then be repaired or retired from use. The Prince Albert exhibition, it's officially underway. It kicked off last night with the big exhibition parade, which made its way through downtown Prince Albert. More than 70 entries were part of the parade this year, and a lot of people lining the streets enjoying the show. There's CTV's Sarah Comedina. She was there with her roller derby team, and that's Jules Knox. She was also on hand to represent CTV. This was Kiddies Day at the exhibition, so admission for kids 12 and under was free when accompanied by an adult. There is a light horse show, seniors drop-in, a petting zoo, magic show, chuck wagon and chariot races, main stage entertainment, and lots more at the Prince Albert exhibition running through Saturday night. 2 men convicted in one of the largest Ponzi schemes in Canadian history have been sentenced to 12 years in prison. Gary Sorensen and Milo Brost ran a con that defrauded more than 2,300 investors out of as much as $400 million. They learned their fate in a Calgary courtroom today. Some of their victims lost their life savings in the scheme. One committed suicide. The Crown had been seeking 14-year prison terms for both men. The Alberta government says people are taking a risk if they use ride-hailing services such as Uber. Officials say people who use such services could have insurance problems under Alberta law. Drivers may falsely believe they're covered by supplemental insurance in the province. The government says passengers who want to use ride-sharing services should always ask the driver for proof of insurance coverage. And on the West Coast, genetic testing will confirm whether a baby is the rightful heir to tens of millions of dollars. A Vancouver millionaire was found murdered about 2 months ago. A woman has since come forward saying she was that man's lover and gave birth to his child. A judge has approved her application for a paternity test. If confirmed, the child stands to inherit an estimated $50 million. Live from our studio in downtown Saskatoon, we'll be back with more news in just a few minutes. Welcome back. Yeah, as we showed you at the top of the show, lots of wet weather around the province. Let's check right now. And these are our watches and warnings. So we have a severe rainfall warning for parts of Saskatchewan, as you can see there in the green. And that purple there, that's actually a storm surge warning for that part of the province, and you can notice that will include Regina. Okay, current conditions. Saskatoon, we'll call it partly cloudy and 14. Prince Albert, partly cloudy and 14. And clear skies for the Battlefords and 16 degrees. Around the province, Stony Rapids at 14, 16 for South End, and 19 in Buffalo Narrows. 14 for Swift Current, all the way down to 9 degrees for East End, 15 in Moose Jaw. How's Regina doing? 15 degrees right now. Broadview at 13 and Wynyard at 14 degrees. Back to central Saskatchewan, we'll add Lloydminster at 15 degrees, 15 for Melfort. As we mentioned, the Battlefords is clear skies and 16 degrees. Let's go to the Battlefords and beautiful forecast. A little windy tomorrow, but mostly sunny skies and our daytime high of 23. And then nothing but sunshine across the board with very summer-like temperatures, very pleasant temperatures right up to feeling the heat once we get into Saturday and Sunday. So beautiful week ahead there in the Battlefords. Gateway City, Prince Albert, pretty much the same story. Mostly sunny tomorrow, 24 degrees. Again, a little bit windy. Then plenty of sunshine right across the board. Very nice temperatures in the mid to upper 20s. So beautiful week ahead for Prince Albert. Here in Saskatoon, rain overnight, down to 12 degrees. It's going to continue with us. It should clear tomorrow. And then we should be out of this rainy weather we've been having for a while. Sunny tomorrow, yeah, it's going to be a little bit windy. But from then on in, it's looking pretty good. Sunshine right across the board, right there with great summer temperatures in the mid to upper 20s. Beautiful weekend ahead for Saskatoon. Sunshine with temperatures in the upper 20s. That's what it looks like outside right now through the CTV Skycam, brought to you by KFC. Okay, Matt's here now. We're going to take a look at a softball team representing Saskatchewan.
That's right. They're headed to the U18 Women's Championships in Montreal, and they're feeling pretty good about making the playoff round. We'll have that and more coming up in sports. until Week 6 against the Colts. I imagine that the NFL and a lot of people are looking forward to that Week 6 to see how Brady responds.
We'll see. But he got suspended.
He lost his
appeal.
Who plays the Patriots in the first 5 weeks gets a real big break.
Okay. All right, Matt, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
All right, still to come on CTV News, we go to a Saskatoon neighborhood with one of the highest rates of hepatitis C in the country. If you have news you'd like to share with us, you could reach out on Facebook or Twitter or email cfqcnews@ctvnews.ca. You can also phone us at 665-9295 or in Prince Albert, 922-6020. It's a disease that can be deadly if not treated. Saskatchewan has one of the highest rates of hepatitis C in the country. Julie Miro has more on how to combat the illness and the urgency to treat it. All right, here's something you might want to take in at Prairieland Park this week, little barrel racing.
Now, Shelby, he's obviously going much slower with me, right?
Yeah, we'll complete this pattern in about 16
That's Malia Sheik there from CTV Morning Live, the actual competitors. Yes, Malia, they do move around a lot faster. The Saskatchewan Barrel Racing Association finals are taking place. More than 300 contestants are taking turns in the event that runs through Thursday.
Well, I just heard from a lot of my girlfriends that it was the finals to come to. If you're in Saskatchewan, we go to a lot of barrel racing throughout the summer, that this is the finals to come to. It's got, a lot of people put a lot of hard work in, and there's so much, there's money added, there's prizes, and it's just a great place to come and see a lot of high caliber horses in one place.
You know, I'm assuming that's a lot harder than it looks.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Guessing. I'd probably fall off right
I think
away.
we would be right down. Summertime, also a time for some people to set aside to break a record. And that goes for the big rigs, too. So that's the world record for the longest semi-truck jump at the Evel Knievel Days in Montana. You see the little V there on the truck there, Matty? Yeah, that's all good old Evel Knievel. The driver said he was trying to break a record of more than 42 meters. Instead, he made it a 50-meter jump instead. Landed it. Landed it. You could, Matty. Let's go try right now. We got time. The show's over. Good night.
I want to be alive. Good night, everyone.